If you want your CBD brand's blog content to help you drive revenue instead of just generating a bunch of useless traffic, keep watching. My name is Wells Westmoreland. I'm the founder of Aperture, an SEO agency for cannabis and CBD brands. Recently, we helped a CBD client add over 6 figures in annual revenue, and blog content is a big part of how we did that. In this video, I'm going to give you our entire CBD content writing process A to Z. I'll be covering everything from choosing topics, to keyword research, to outlining and researching your article, all the way to writing and editing and publishing that article. Let's get into it. All right, so I want to start by talking about why blog content is so important for your CBD brand and for your SEO strategy. There's 3 main reasons. The first reason is that blog content can help your brand build topical authority. Essentially, Google wants to rank websites for search queries that are an authority on those search queries. And so blog content is one way you can build that perceived authority in the eyes of Google. And so by writing about CBD a lot, you can rank your valuable transactional pages like your category pages and your product pages. Those pages will rank better for CBD related product and category keywords because you've used blog content to build up your authority on the topic of CBD. So that's the number one reason to write blog content as a CBD brand. But also blog content drives obviously traffic, but also email signups and sales. Building your email list as a CBD brand is huge because it's an owned platform, right? You own that audience. You control what you can send to that audience, what you can say. Whereas platforms like social media, you don't own that audience. If Facebook or Instagram decides to shut you down, your entire page and your entire following could be gone snap of a finger. And so building your email list is crucial, and blog content can contribute in a huge way to that process. Additionally, blog content does drive some sales. It won't convert anywhere near as well as a category or a product page might, but it will drive some additional sales. And one thing to mention here is that blog content helps you reach that 90%. At any given time, of all people who could buy your products, only 10% are ready to buy. That 10% will be searching for things like, buy CBD oil or 50 milligram CBD gummies. The other 90% though, they're looking for information. And so blog content helps you reach that 90% and get them into your email list and get them into your brand's sphere. And then later on you can convert them through email marketing. The third reason why blog content is so important for CBD brands is that it can actually fuel your entire marketing engine, or rather your entire online marketing engine. So your blog content, if it's good enough quality, it can be repurposed into social media posts, emails. You can make it into an ebook. You can also turn it into flyers and educational materials. So if you have a brick and mortar store, you can use those blog posts to create educational materials to hand out in store to customers. So you can quickly see how investing in blog content does more than just give you SEO benefits, although the SEO benefits are very big. It also helps you create other kinds of content a lot easier and more efficiently. I'll also say that for my clients, I focus a lot on blog content because it's one of those things that a lot of CBD and cannabis brands don't do a very good job at. And so therefore, it's an easy opportunity for us to outperform them and outcompete them. In SEO, there's a lot of different things you can do, right? You can optimize a page, you can update, little parts of a page, you can create blog content, you can build links, tons of leverage you can pull. And so as an SEO strategist, my goal is always, what levers can I pull from my client that other people that they're competing with are not pulling, to give us an advantage when ranking for competitive search terms that drive revenue. And so I've noticed in the CBD space, there's a huge opportunity for blog content. A lot of brands don't do it very well. And so it's a kind of a low-hanging fruit opportunity for a lot of CBD brands. So CBD content writing can be broken into 8 main steps. I'm going to cover each and kind of walk you through how to do it. First step is choosing a topic. And I'll also say that these first 4 steps are going to require actually more work than the last 4 steps. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but you'll see in a minute. So yeah, first step is choosing a topic. A topic is a group of keywords. Oftentimes you'll have multiple keywords that are all sort of searching for the same thing that can be answered by a single page. And so your goal is to find topics and then build one blog post to rank for that topic. Using the topic first approach does 2 things. First off, it allows you to rank for all the keywords in that topic. So if you create a comprehensive piece of content that addresses every angle of that topic, then you can rank for all those different keywords and get more traffic that way. Also, in many cases, Google is smart, right? And so unless you cover the topic comprehensively, you won't be able to create a shorter, more unhelpful piece of content that just targets one of those little keywords and rank. You got to cover the entire topic to rank for any of those keywords. The easiest way to check if several keywords are part of the same topic is simply just to search them, right? Google them and see if the results are similar. If they are similar, then chances are high that all these keywords are part of the same topic. And so therefore you can write one blog post and rank for all of them at the same time. I will also say that in many cases you will need to write an article that targets all the keywords in or targets one keyword but it addresses all the keywords in a topic. However, in some cases you might find that there is a lower volume keyword that actually is a separate topic, but no one's realized it, and so no one's written content that targets that keyword. And so it's an easy opportunity for you to get a quick ranking and some traffic. And so the way to find these hidden topics is to examine the search results. And if you see one article targeting that specific topic, but the rest of them are more broad, that gives you a good idea that maybe I can write a more specific article like that person's doing and rank for that topic. All of this is important to keep in mind because this kind of dictates how you go about deciding how many blog posts to write and how many different keyword variations you need to target. So with this in mind, a few criteria that you want any topic you're going to be targeting to meet. First thing is that the topic should map to the products you sell. So we discussed topical authority, how building topical authority can help you rank transactional pages for lucrative keywords like, buy CBD oil, that kind of thing. But to do that, you gotta make sure your blog content aligns with your product line and is part of the same topic. So you're building authority on the right topics. Second thing is you want these topics to have decent monthly search volume because that way, whenever you rank, you'll actually get traffic from that ranking. Starting out, I recommend maybe targeting keywords that get 50 to 100 searches a month. This allows you to get some traffic, but allows you to avoid the more competitive keywords you're gonna have a hard time ranking for. Also, you want these keywords to have reasonably low competition. Different tools will give you different scores. I say shoot for a competition score 30 or below in the first few months. And that way you can rank in a reasonable time frame and get some early wins and build some early topical authority. So you're not waiting around, for 6 months to see results from SEO. Okay, so that's kind of the mindset you want to have when choosing topics and kind of the framework you want to use. But in terms of a specific process, here's what you should do. First off, you want to search for each of your product categories in an SEO tool. So I use SEMrush, it's semrush.com. So you could search, say you sell CBD and Delta 9. You could search for CBD gummies, Delta 9 gummies. Now obviously those are all product related keywords, but what you want to see is you want to see what types of informational queries are out there. So what questions are people asking about CBD, Delta 9, and maybe more granularly about CBD gummies, Delta 9 gummies, that kind of thing. Usually if you sort the keyword list by volume, you'll be able to see the topics that get the most searches. These are kind of the main subtopics under CBD or under Delta 9. Now, in an ideal world, you would target those main subtopics with blog content, right? You want to cover the topic completely and to build authority on it. But oftentimes those subtopics will also be too difficult. You're not going to rank for CBD side effects or CBD benefits. Not as a new brand. There's just no way, right? You have government sites ranking, you have huge media sites ranking. And so what you want to do instead is think even more granularly. Look at the subtopics. And so that way you can find topics that will help you build your authority for those broad, CBD, Delta 9, those big product topics, but also allow you to get rankings and actually get some wins on the board early on. Once you've been blogging, of course, for a year or two, then you can target those massive difficult topics. All right, so step 2 is the SERP analysis, or the search engine result page analysis. In this step, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reverse engineering the top ranking results for our target keyword or our topic, and that way we can figure out what do people want to see or want to read about whenever they search for our topic. Because Google ranks articles that are meeting the search intent or the intention behind whenever someone performs a search. And so by studying those top ranking articles, we can do the same thing in our articles so we can rank, but also we can do it better so we can rank above them. I have the entire process down here, and this document's also available in the description down below. But instead of talking you through this process, what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to give you an example and kind of show you how I go about performing a SERP analysis. For our example, the keyword is CBD for IBS or irritable bowel syndrome. People are searching this keyword because they want to figure out, should I be using CBD to help with IBS? Can it help? All that kind of thing. So I start by searching for the keyword in Google. So I look up CBD for IBS. And after I do that, what I want to do is I'm going to look at all the titles of the top ranking results. And what I want to look for here is what subtopics or kind of, sub search intents are they covering in their titles. The top ranking articles are presumably doing a better job of covering the topic in most cases than the lower ranking articles. If Medical News Today here is covering the benefits, uses, and side effects, ranking number 1, we can assume that most people are seeing this result and clicking on them versus the other results. So go through and note down all these subtopics. So benefits, uses, side effects. I can write these down, right? I see benefits, it occurs once. I see uses, it occurs once. I see side effects, it occurs once. You'll want to do that for every single topic. Now, if you see a topic more than once, you'll add to the tally, right? So if I see benefits twice, I could add a second X in this little box. In this example, we have 2 articles down here covering what you should know first. So, we have Evo Pierce saying what you should know first. We have Dr. Michael Ruscio saying what you need to know about using CBD for IBS. So that's kind of a different angle of approaching that topic. But yeah, this gives us a bird's eye view of what people want to read about when they're looking up CBD for IBS. The next step after you go through these titles is to come up here to the search box and look at the keywords that Google is auto-completing. So type in your keyword and then hit space. And the reason why this is important is because these are the most commonly searched longer tail variants of our head keyword. So CBD for IBS is the head topic, but a keyword that has more words in it is a more specific and precise version of that keyword. And so by looking at the most searched long tail keywords for this topic, we can figure out whenever someone searches for CBD for IBS, what is the thing they're looking for? What do they actually want? So we can see here that most people are looking for information on CBD for the pain from IBS, so CBD for IBS pain. People are also looking for reviews on CBD for IBS. So they want to know, how does it work for real people? They're also looking for information on whether CBD can help with the diarrhea from IBS, CBD for IBS and anxiety, right? And so looking at these can help us get a more specific look into what people want to know for this topic. So you'll want to go through and write these down in your document. So I could say, autocomplete, right? Autocomplete, if I can type, right? And say pain. Pain was the first one. And then after that was reviews. And after that it was diarrhea, right? And what you'll want to do is later on is you'll want to cover these topics in your article. And ideally cover them first in the article, and that way you can give people what they're looking for, because this is what people want when they're searching for CBD for IBS. Once you've done these first 2 steps, you should go ahead and kind of figure out what are the main subtopics you want to cover. I'm seeing lots of benefits, side effects, research. I'm seeing 2 research articles appearing in this SERP as well. Obviously, this is not a complete SERP analysis, so we could say that benefits, research, and can it help are the main sub-intents I want to cover for that keyword. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to go through all the top ranking content for this keyword and figure out what subtopics are they covering and how often. Again, I won't do this in full here, but I'll show you a couple of examples. So I'll open up the top 5 to 10 articles for this query. I'll open up all the non-research links because these are ranking because of the National Institutes of Health has a lot of domain authority. But we'll look at these top 5, right? What you want to do here is you want to go through these articles, and every time you see a topic, you want to make a tally of it. So does it help, right? Does it help? Okay, and then I go down further, keep reading. Risks and side effects. All right, and you want to do that for every single article. And also you will see that some articles are going to cover the same topics. So we have Healthline, they cover can it help right away as well. Okay, so that appears twice in the top ranking articles. Coming down here, they cover safety and side effects also. So risks, safety, side effects, all sort of the same subtopic. So I'll make another tally for that. By doing this, you can figure out what are the most frequently discussed topics. That gives you a good idea of what are the most important subtopics to cover whenever one rank for that topic. So if you do that, but you do it comprehensively, so you look at all the titles, you look at all these autocompletes, you look at all of the subtopics in the actual articles. If you do that, you'll have a pretty good idea of what you need to cover in order to rank for this keyword. Step 3 of CBD content writing is writing your headline and building your outline. So for the headline, what I want to do is I want to include the keyword I'm trying to rank for, or a close variant of it. I also want to include the top 1 to 3 search intents that I saw in the titles from the previous step. And then also I want to make sure this headline stays below 60 characters, and that way it won't get cut off in these search results. Earlier, I found that the benefits, research, and can it help are kind of the main 3 things I want to cover based on the top ranking articles. These are the main 3 things I want to call out in my headline. And so my headline might be something like, can CBD help with IBS, research and benefits, something like that. And check the word count, tools, word count. All right, so that's 42 characters, so I'm good, right? This is a decent title. I might, capitalize the W and the H and everything, but this is a decent title for an article on CBD for IBS, so I might do that. Once I have the headline written, I also want to go ahead and build my outline. We have this information. This is obviously incomplete, but the most commonly covered subtopics in the top ranking articles, I want to highlight the most frequently occurring subtopics. So say I see 10 different subtopics that were covered in the top 5 articles, but 5 of them were covered, 3 to 4 times, whereas the other 5 were covered maybe 1 time in different places. So I know for sure that those topics that were covered 3 to 4 times in those ranking articles are very important to cover in my article. So I want to go ahead and highlight those and call them out whenever I'm building my outline, and I want to maybe bring them down here. And then what you want to do is write these topics down in the order you're going to cover them. So I might say, what is CBD? Can CBD help with IBS? Benefits of CBD for IBS. Maybe, CBD dosage for IBS. I saw that in the keywords. And then this is obviously incomplete, but conclusion, right? So I have all my main subtopics. I'll turn these topics into heading 2, right? And then from here, I want to go through this outline. Once I've included everything that I need to rank, then I would go through and add additional things that I think are important. So based on my personal experience or based on common sense, what else will people be looking for when they search for this query? Now, obviously, the more you do this, the more you analyze SERPs and you build outlines, you're going to get better at kind of thinking and getting inside the head of the searcher and figuring out what do they want to read about. But you want to go through this article and add in things that make sense to you. Again, obviously this is an incomplete outline. Once you do that, you also want to make sure you add a conclusion section. I already did that here, but it's important to remember. One thing to remember when you're building your outlines is MECE. It means mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. All the topics in your article that you're covering are all part of that topic, so they're mutually exclusive, but also you cover every single subtopic that is important for that head topic. So your article is collectively exhaustive. It's actually a consulting principle, but you can apply it to CBD content writing to create content that actually ranks and is helpful to the searcher. Step 4 is research. Good research is the difference between high quality and differentiated content for your brand and sucky copycat content. And so honestly, it's probably one of the most important parts of this entire process. So when you're doing research, I recommend pulling from 5 main sources. First up is subject matter expert interviews, or SME interviews. So you want to interview somebody who has expertise on the topic. So if you're writing about CBD for IBS, if you're, say, a writer, you might want to interview the CBD store owner, or interview someone who's used it for IBS, or maybe interview a doctor, right? If you can get a doctor, someone like that. Ideally, you can do this step, right? I'm not saying you can always interview an SME for your article, but ideally you should do this, right? Because first-hand experience and knowledge is the most valuable form of information in online content, right? People don't want to read the same thing that everyone else is saying, and they also want to read real people's experiences, right? Google's begun to show Reddit and Quora in the search results, and so that's why this is such an important source. Number 2 is scientific journals. So use research to back up your points. Just make sure that you don't misrepresent the research, because you don't want to get in trouble with the FDA. You don't want to make medical claims about your products and say, this research is proving that my CBD can, reduce pain and treat this condition and that condition. You don't want to do that, okay? So be very careful about how you talk about research, but you should use research in your content, right? It builds credibility and authority to the person reading the article. Third main source is your other content. So if you have similar articles that are related to the article you're writing, so say I'm writing about CBD for IBS, but I've written an article about CBD for inflammation, right? Then those two are somewhat related. So I can use parts of my inflammation article whenever I'm getting information for my CBD for IBS article. You also want to make sure that your articles that are related are linking to each other. Add in links to your other content in your outline, and so that you make sure that you're linking to the other content as you're writing that article. Fourth main source is forums and social media platforms. Forums like Reddit and Quora, and then social media platforms like Twitter are great places to find people talking about and sharing their experiences about your topic. So again, if you're talking about using CBD for a certain condition, find people talking about that on Reddit. Find someone posting a thread about how CBD is helping me with my pain, or how is CBD working for you guys, and then read the comments, right? These are great places to find real people's experiences on your topic that you can infuse into your content to make it more engaging and also more valuable to the reader. And then the fifth and final source is other online sources. So most people, when they're doing research, the first thing they do is they Google their topic and they just copy the top ranking blog articles. Don't do that, right? That should be the final thing you do should be pulling from people's blog content when doing research, right? Because you want your information to be different and unique. That said, once you use these first four sources, you can look up other people's content and see what they're saying. But also, you want to look up your keyword and then add a file type :PDF. This allows you to see PDFs that are online and publicly available, but that usually will not be surfaced in the regular search results. So you can find unique perspectives this way. So with your research out of the way, step 5 is to write the first draft of your article. I'm not going to belabor this point too much because it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to go through your outline and your research, and you're going to turn it from a bunch of disparate pieces of information into a coherent article. But a couple of tips for writing your articles. First thing is put the bottom line up front. So put the BLUF, right? BLUF. People don't click on blog content. They don't search on Google to read gigantic essays. Instead, they're going to be scanning your content looking for a quick answer to that question, right? And so what you want to do is you want to put the key information at the beginning of your article, right? And then the rest of your content can expand on that answer and give context to that answer, so that people are still, so they still have questions and they still are looking for more information. They can read down the page and get more insight. Other thing is, don't use statistics or research as arguments, okay? So in the CBD space, in the cannabis space, trust is pretty scarce. You got to show them that you have expertise about CBD and cannabis. And so what you want to avoid is just saying, here's a statistic or here's some research, okay? Because that makes you look like you're just trying to use third-party authority sources as a way to sell your products, okay? And people hate that nowadays, right? They want genuine, real perspectives that make sense. So use these kinds of things to back up your arguments and back up what you're saying, but don't use them as the selling point or as the point themselves, if that makes sense. Step 6 is editing, all right? So before you do any hands-on editing, you want to go ahead and run a spell check. It's super easy to do. You can fix any obvious misspellings and grammatical errors that way. But as you go through your article, here are a few things you want to keep in mind. Number 1 is avoid mixing up bullet points and numbered lists. So if you say there are 3 things to do, right? You want to make sure you have a numbered list below that instead of 3 bullet points. Second thing is avoid introducing each section. So don't say, in this section we're going to discuss XYZ. Just get into it, because the heading indicates what the section will discuss. You don't need to say it again, right? That just makes the reading process more tiresome for the reader, and they're less likely to like your brand, right? Third thing, try not to say more on that later too much, okay? Because more on that later indicates that you may be discussing a topic before you should be, and it's just aggravating. People are going to be jumping around the article trying to find, well, more on that later. Okay, where do they discuss it? Down here? I can't find it, right? It just creates frustration where it doesn't need to be. Fourth thing is leave some eye relief. Now, this isn't really a great example, but what you want to do is you want to break up your text, okay? So when you're writing like a research paper for college, right, you're writing huge paragraphs. When you're writing a blog post, you're trying to give people quick, easy to consume information. And so you want to aim for maybe 1 to 3 lines per paragraph or per sentence. So if it's more than 3 lines, try to break it up, okay? Unless it's in a list. Last thing is make your headings scannable. So for example, let's say that discussing the benefits of CBD for a certain condition. Obviously you want to be roundabout in the way you talk about it to avoid medical claims. But let's say that below a heading 2, you're discussing these specific benefits. Instead of saying, sleep, if CBD helps with sleep, you might say, research suggests CBD may promote restful sleep, right? You're actually giving more context in that heading versus just giving one word. And what this does is it allows people to quickly figure out which part of the article is talking about what they want to learn more about. And so generally try to make your headings scannable, because again, people aren't here to read the entire article. They're just looking for the answer to their question. So make sure your headings are scannable. After you do these things, I'd also recommend running an SEO edit of the article. So put the article into a tool like SEMrush or ClearScope. What these tools do is they help you optimize your content for search by identifying which keywords are commonly discussed in the top ranking content but are not discussed in your content, and that way you can include these keywords in your articles. However, if you see that your article is missing a certain keyword, don't just add it in wherever you can. Instead, look for a pattern. It might be that you're missing a certain set of keywords because you're missing an entire section in your article that other articles have. So from the example about CBD for IBS, let's say that I'm seeing that a lot of articles have the words side effects and risk right in them, but my article doesn't have these words. What this means is that all the other articles are talking about the risks and side effects of CBD for IBS, but I'm not, okay? So that means I need to actually add that section to my article to make it more complete and more comprehensive. Try to think about it a little bit. Don't just add these keywords in wherever you can. All right, so after you've edited your article and it's basically good to go, 2 more steps. You want to embellish that article and you want to go ahead and publish that article. So for the embellishing phase, there's a couple things you want to do. First thing is add images and graphics and also videos if you have them. So ideally, you're going to be creating custom graphics that fit the article or that help to illustrate the points you're talking about. So for example, you might, if you're talking about the benefits of CBD for a certain use, then you might have a graphic that shows, this and that as the benefits, and then little pictures that kind of give a visual representation of those benefits. If you don't have the time or the budget to create graphics, at least include some stock images and add your logo, your branding, or your brand colors to those images to make it, obviously fit your brand, but also to add a little bit more context and a little bit more, again, eye relief to the article. You also want to add YouTube videos. So if you have a YouTube channel and you cover that same topic in a YouTube video, you want to add it to the article, and that makes your article more helpful, but it also actually increases the time that people are going to spend on your page, which helps you rank better. Look, I take my own medicine on this. This video about CBD content writing, I have an article on my agency website about CBD content writing. So after this video is published, I'm going to add this video to that article, and my article is going to become a lot better because it now has additional information and additional medium to consume that content. Other thing you want to do here is also add internal links and CTAs. Most internal links to other blog posts should already be in your article because you took care of that in the research phase. But your articles also need to link to your product category and also your product pages, right? Because that's how you build topical authority and help those pages rank better for lucrative, buying intent keywords. Links that are higher in your blog posts tend to carry more weight and pass more authority. So you want to make sure you're linking to those transactional pages early in the article as opposed to later on. Also, at the end of the article, provide a CTA, say, go buy this product or go read this blog post, right? Now, obviously, every single article, as I said, should be linking to your product and categories and your products, but every article should also have a written CTA or a CTA of some kind to direct the user to the next point that you want them to go to. All right, so after you've embellished your article and made sure that it has the proper internal links and the CTAs, step 8 is publishing. But this step is not just as simple as throw your article in your CMS and hit publish. Instead, you got to make sure that you write your SEO title. This is the title that's going to show up in the search results. Generally, it will be the same as the article title you wrote, the headline you wrote earlier. Make sure that's 60 characters or less, that way it won't get cut off. Meta description, this is the text that goes beneath the title in the results. For the meta, what you want to do here is just briefly summarize your article or discuss the key topics that you discuss in your article. So if you discuss, CBD for IBS, the research and the benefits and the risks and side effects, you could say, in our article, we discuss the benefits and risks of using CBD for IBS. We also look at the, at new research exploring its potential benefits in this area. Something like that. Ideally, the meta has your keyword in it towards the front. I didn't put that in here, but do that. Next thing is write your slug. So this is the URL of the article. For this document, I have docs.google.com/document, and then this huge text thing right here, right? And so that would be the slug of this page. Generally, the slug of your article should be your head keyword. So for CBD for IBS, it would just be, mycompany.com/blog/CBD for IBS. You also want to add the article to the categories it belongs in. So if you have categories in your blog, you have, a category for CBD, a category for Delta 9, categories for different use cases. Then go ahead and add that blog to those categories so that it'll show up in those categories once you publish it. Add a featured image. So if you have a blog page on your website and people can scroll through the articles you have and see the image and then the title, you want to make sure you add an image that is eye-catching so that people will actually click on your article and that it adds context to the content of the article. Once you hit publish, you want to do two things as well. Okay, so first thing is you want to add links to your new article from existing articles that are relevant to it. So again, if I'm talking about, CBD for IBS in my new article, I could link from relevant articles that cover, CBD for different conditions or CBD for different inflammation-related conditions or pain-related conditions, that kind of thing, because this helps you build, again, topical authority, right? You're passing the authority around the articles. You're establishing your site's broad authority on the topic of CBD or CBD for pain, that kind of thing. Ideally, all your relevant articles will link to each other, and then they'll all link to your transactional pages. So do that, and also submit your new article as well as the articles that you added links to your new article from to Google Search Console. What this will do is it'll help them get indexed faster and hopefully begin ranking and getting traffic sooner than they would otherwise if you just let Google find the new articles at their own pace. That is it. That is the entire CBD content writing process from A to Z. That is how you write content that ranks on Google, helps build topical authority to help you sell more products, and also drives email signups and revenue as well. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you try it out for your CBD brand. If you do, tell me how it goes and be sure to ask me any questions down below in the comments. If you have a CBD brand and you want to drive revenue with SEO, book a call with me. Let's discuss SEO for your business and how my agency may be able to help. If this isn't you though, I have plenty of resources that can help you do SEO for your CBD and cannabis brand. So I have a full article on CBD content writing, but I also have articles on CBD SEO strategy, CBD local SEO strategy, and also tons of other videos on these topics and others on my channel. This document will also be linked down below in the description and the comments. That's it. Hope you have a great day. Bye.